Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Par Tolles joins us. He is the head of Tolles Development Company, one of the leading developers in northern Nevada. The whole show on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nearly 200,000 Nevadans work in retail businesses, supporting families and the community. Nevada's retail businesses generated over $2 billion in sales tax revenue in 1 year, including nearly $700 million to help our schools. Shop around and see all that Nevada's retailers offer our state.
We're the Retail Association of Nevada, representing thousands of Nevada businesses.
Businesses that work for Nevada.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday. Trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
Back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program Par Tolles. He is the head of Tolles Development Company. Pleasure to have you back on the program,
Thanks,
sir.
Sam. Great to be here.
So, over the last couple of years, you've bought up a lot of property, especially in the Midtown area of downtown Reno. RTC is doing a major project that goes all the way, from the south side of town all the way to the university, but that's affecting the Midtown area. And I think one of the amazing things, and I want to do this because it's a positive thing, is that RTC has carved out a whole ton of parking places that, despite the fact that they are doing massive work through your area, they're actually allowing people to be at a park and continue to serve those businesses.
Yeah, it's been a pleasant surprise. Obviously, they did a great job, the RTC and Sierra Nevada Corporation, in really meeting with the owners, the tenants. Probably not that I've been involved in a ton of construction projects like this, but they pre-planned very, very well. But we were still all holding our breath. And you look at the orange cones and you see the sea of construction equipment out there, and obviously we were concerned. But the feedback has been there's more parking than there was before. People are starting to understand the one-way going south on South Virginia and coming back on Center to the north. And it is really easy to get in and out. And the majority of our tenants, particularly our food and beverage tenants, are doing very well. So there's been a few that have stumbled, and we've really gotten together and talked about how we can help increase traffic, but we've been very pleasantly surprised. The RTC's done a great job.
And it's interesting to note that over time, RTCs, both in the north and the south, have figured out that businesses can't survive unless the RTCs do this kind of thing. These massive construction projects, whether it be Project Neon in the south or this project in the north. Right.
I think there's been even a little bit of subjective rah-rah with the RTC. If you look at their construction equipment, they have Midtown Strong on there. They've gone out of their way of providing free lift rides, valet parking, T-shirts. I mean, they've really stepped in as a community partner, realizing that this is going to be disruptive. But also, a lot of our tenants are looking at the light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to be really cool when it's all said and done. I mean, it's going to be a very walkable, pedestrian-friendly, a portion of our city that has never been developed like this before. It's going to be San Luis Obispo-y. It'll be really neat.
And the other thing that's exciting is that at the south end of your project, where the RTC project begins, Park Lane Mall is now going vertical.
Right.
And so this is going to be another huge development that I think most people look at it and go, this is just going to make one huge brand new area for people to come to.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, if you look at, has Reno really had a walkable, experiential place that you can park and spend 3 or 4 hours they haven't. But with the inception of Midtown, or really the evolution of Midtown, and now with these improvements, it is going to be a very special place. And it's not only just going to be for college students. I think it's going to be a great place for them to finally have a place to go. But you're seeing a real melting pot of a number of different aspects of our demographic that are showing up in Midtown, and really, really enjoying it.
Okay, when you say different aspect of our demographic, who do you mean?
Well, it was interesting. When we bought our section of Midtown, we've now populated it with Whispering Vine, which is a popular wine bar. Usually they attract suburban type demographic. And then down the street there's a tattoo shop. Down the street from that there may be a millennial type brewery. And so you're seeing the suburbanites and the millennials and the college students all congregating and walking through this part of our city. And it's not just catering to one part of our population, and it's pretty exciting to watch.
The Lime bikes that have populated our region here over the last few months, what are your thoughts on those? Because it seems, and I've had discussions with you and others about Midtown and this whole construction project, that is, cars are not going to be a permanent fixture in these areas anymore. You're going to have other modes of transportation, because otherwise there's no room.
Yeah, I'm for it. I think the Lime bikes have been, I know there's been some difficulty with a wayward bike here and there, but in general I think it's going to be an important part of the evolution of Midtown, whether that be bike, pedestrian, working with cars, hopefully public transportation. It continues to evolve, but it's one spoke of the wheel that's really going to help Reno continue to grow.
One spoke of the wheel.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Worked on that.
Let me ask you about this. You have a lot of connections with downtown as well, and I want to get to those in a minute. But is downtown reaching out to Midtown to kind of join things up so that it becomes a continuous area of excitement for people visiting our area or wanting to live here?
No, it's a good question. I think yes, but we can do more. I'm, as you know, and you may be moving into these questions, but with our business improvement district, I think that was the first step in really taking safe, clean up a notch to start to bridge the entertainment district, what I call it. Then you have kind of the financial district, then you have Midtown. And I think that's the first real move of formal move by downtown to connect over to that part, over to Midtown. So yeah, it's starting to happen. I think we can be more creative in how we do it, but it's starting to happen.
It's interesting. People continuously talk about the need for more retail in the downtown area, and that people are surprised as tourists. They come here and there's not a retail segment in downtown, but a lot of old funky t-shirts and
Right.
boarded up buildings. Is this not still a problem that goes back maybe 50 years at this point, of just a lot of old timers owning these properties? There may be 20, 30 people that are all partners in these properties, and they can't agree on a price where these properties could be redeveloped.
Yes. I mean, it's frustrating because I think we are seeing the needle move very quickly in certain pockets of our city, Midtown being the most. But there is that segment of the older portion of downtown that the pricing is above what it should be. And the fact that it is part of a gaming district, there needs to be some sort of diversity brought in. People want retail, but to bring retail, you need some more rooftops. You need some more residential. Then you'll have some office follow. So it's part of the urban planning push that I think is starting to happen. But until there is the ability for guys like me to come in and say, okay, I can buy this building and do something else with it, and I know it's going to be successful, it's going to be a challenge to really see this morph quickly. So I think we're starting to tick off. We're moving. You and I have talked a lot about Kings Inn, which became 3rd Street's flat. It has proved to be successful. The Jacobs Group, slowly unveiling what they're going to do. We're starting to tick block by block, and it is starting to evolve. But that area that you're talking about, it's a tough redevelopment area, and even as a developer, I don't have the right secret sauce for that yet.
And you know, this has been a 40-year project.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how far back I can look at that downtown area and talk about how many different redevelopment offices City of Reno has had.
Right.
And they said it was a 30-year project, but it's literally turned into a 40-year one. The 3rd Street project was remarkable because that Kings Inn had just been a great area of blight. What do you think so far of what at least you know about what the folks who own Gold Dust are planning to do? They're buying up huge swaths of land, old motels, taking them down. Do you have concerns? Are you excited?
I'm excited. I think that's been a very difficult part of our downtown, and he is quietly one of the most important movers in Reno, and they've done a remarkable job of keeping it quiet. I can't tell you, I don't know what they're going to do. I know they unveiled, I think it was the Castaway that they're redeveloping, but I don't know what else. They've done a great job of keeping it quiet. But I think if you look at that western part of 4th Street, it is around the sands. It was a difficult place, a blighted place, and I think anything they do will be an upgrade and will continue to facilitate additional development.
All right, let's take a break and then we'll talk about the other side of what we're trying to do
Yep.
in the downtown right after this.
How do you shed some light on a better economy? Start with growth inspired by Valley Electric Association. We're a member-owned power company that puts Nevada first, and we're doing big things, like providing prosperity by securing renewable energy projects. For Nevada, that means more jobs and more opportunities, all for a strong statewide economy. In other words, together, we're doing powerful things. Visit us at vea.coop to learn more.
Hi, I'm Eric Robnett, owner of Home Energy Experts. Has this ever happened to you?
Honey, did you remember to turn down the thermostat?
Forgetting to set the temperature? Not fun. We can help. Our new smart thermostat keeps the temperature set for your comfort all by itself.
I'm feeling hot now.
To increase your comfort, go to homeenergyexperts.com for details. That's homeenergyexperts.com.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Par Tolles. He is the head of Tolles Development Company. I was at Volunteers of America breakfast yesterday, talking about the homeless situation and helping them to raise funds for their ongoing work. You know, for a city the size of Reno and an area the size of Reno, Sparks, and environs, the homeless population is really not that large. It appears to be a larger problem than it truly is. You're doing a lot of work now to help with, making sure that downtown is a safe place for people to go, to walk, but also to deal with the homeless situation. Give us an update on where we are.
It's interesting you say that. You know, I've often said Reno has a bunch of movie screens. We have big parking garages, we have big casinos with big walls that go for a block. And in the entertainment district, there's not other coat and ties or, and everybody's staying within the casinos. So we highlight our homeless population because they're in front of this movie screen. And so if you drive through certain parts of downtown, it is stark and it stands out. And if you go to other populations, Portland, San Francisco, that are wrestling with the same issues, a lot of that's mixed in with a normal population. We have been, a task force of us got very involved with Volunteers of America in trying to come up with some sort of creative solutions to transitional housing. And we were able to, long story, but we ended up buying a man camp out in Wyoming, a 224-bed man camp, having it shipped trucked out to Reno, and we are about 45 days away from having it opened, where we were able to provide small rooms, common bathrooms, safe, lockable common bathrooms in a dormitory type fashion for $400 a month. So the motels are charging somewhere between $750 and $850 a month. We're providing for $400. We have a waiting list. It's an experiment. I think Reno will be the first community to really try this type of transitional living. A lot of other communities have tried tiny homes and other things, which are great. But I'm hopeful that this may be a building block, not only for something we can do more in the city, but other communities will look at it and say, yeah, this works. But the Volunteers of America and the city of Reno, as well as the private sector, have all locked arms to create State Street Village, which we're really, really excited about. Probably the most exciting project I've ever worked on, just from a community involvement and seeing how everybody has really linked arms and tried to help.
Okay, and this is located in the downtown area
Yes.
near other services.
It's on
that
State
are
Street
available.
and 4th, so it's about a mile east of the homeless shelter right now. And it's, and I also should say that I should mention the Community Foundation. They've been the real leader. We came up with the idea. Community Foundation linked arms with us, and they will own the project. So Chris Askins over at Community Foundation has been incredible in what he's been able to achieve here in the last really 4 months.
And Cindy Carano is helping to head this up as well.
Cindy is involved with the Business Improvement District. She hasn't been involved, but they've been the Caranos in general have been big supporters of what we're doing.
You know, it's interesting, if you go to Oakland, for example, the homeless camps there are huge.
Right.
And it's so disheartening in a place that is so wealthy to see the number of homeless, that we don't have a situation like that in Reno.
No, I mean, I think we're the river provides some hidden pockets of where the homeless can camp. I think, you know, I'm on the board of Hope, Northern Nevada Hopes, and there's a belief with Hopes, and I guess I've kind of drunk the Kool-Aid, that if we really do this type of transitional housing, if we really work with organizations like Northern Nevada Hopes, we can get close to solving, I want to say solving the homeless problem, but really make a dent on the homeless problem in Reno. And I think that there's a lot of other people on the private side like me that are really starting to believe that and are looking for ways that we can really move the needle in trying to compassionately find alternative housing for people. As we continue to redevelop, we're excited about redevelopment, but we are displacing people. And we don't want that to be accretive to the homeless population. We want to find solutions that we can help people not only just get shelter, but also move to the next level. My hope is at State Street Village, you can save for a security deposit. You're there for 6 months. We'll give you some financial counseling, then we'll move you to a lower income single apartment, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm bullish. I guess I'm a believer that we can really make a change here. So.
You know, you're really destroying the image of a developer.
Yeah, we're trying.
You know, the horrible, greedy developer. You know, we've tried to dispel that myth a lot on this program too.
Yeah, you do, and I would say my trade is generally a good trade, and I think you have a lot of good people that really contribute a lot of money. They contribute a lot of time. They're creative people by nature. They want to see change. That's why we're in real estate. We like to touch and feel what we do, and we like to make the community a better place.
Well, and I think, you know, obviously, as you're pointing out, and we're seeing this with Jacobs Entertainment, buying up all these different motels, we are in a transition in terms of places that are old and not in good shape, not really fit for a human, you know, living, are being taken out. But there is a need for people at those lower income levels to have a place to live. And so if we can do that, and in conjunction with you know, the folks that are working downtown so hard with the homeless community, that we can uplift people.
Yeah, I think we can. And I guess I've been so heartened. I mean, now I've been here over 20 years. I do really appreciate the community of Reno, and you have a lot of really good people that are itching to make a difference. And when you give them a platform like Sage Street where they can really contribute, they do, and they are more than willing to give their time, their energy, and their money to something they think is going to make sense and it's going to really you know, produce change. And
do you plan to expand that? You know, how long do you plan to give it? You know, as an experiment, obviously, to begin with. But if it works, you know, how soon do you think before you would start expanding this, or other groups would start expanding?
Yeah, if it works, I think we'll start continuing to look for these appropriate dormitory type. They're all over the country. They're all over the world. I mean, if you go to mines, if you go to oil and gas, there's a long, useful life. These things are built really, really well, and they're transportable. So
Don Ahern of Ahern Rental is a good friend of this program, is one of the people that helps manufacture these.
You're right. I've heard you did a great interview with him not long ago. I think there's the ability to truck these in. I think, as we find the right areas to place them, I think you can upgrade them, you can paint them and add different architectural elements to them to make them look less barrackish. And I think it could be, if this works, I think there's a lot of us who would really like to put more effort into trying to not only provide more here in Reno, but help other communities do the same thing.
All right, let's take a break. More with Partols when we come back.
Dimitri Prine here for Design Outdoor. At Design Outdoor, we specialize in all hardscapes, pavers, and walls you'll need for everything, from wonderful small yards to full-blown outdoor living. And we only refer the best contractors to make your vision a reality. Our store and backyard are located at 11600 South Virginia, just north of DeMonte Ranch Parkway. Visit designoutdoor.com or call us at 851-9499.
I'm men's rights attorney Marilyn York, and because I represent men in all family law matters, women often call me gender traitor, woman hater, and even disgusting. So why represent men and target myself with these offensive monikers? It's simple. Children with fathers in their lives are 6 times less likely to drop out of school, 15 times less likely to go to prison, and 5 times less likely to commit suicide. So ladies, you can hate me, but please love your children more than you hate their fathers.
Hi, I'm Dave Newman. Remember me? I used to be the house detective, and now I'm a realtor, full-time at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates. A lot of people ask me, how's the market? You know what? It's fantastic. If you're even kicking around the idea of buying or selling, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Call me at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates and just ask for the guy who used to be the house detective, Dave Newman.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take an Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Part Tolles. He heads up the Tolles Development Company. So you're buying up properties now around the airport. It seems like there's a lot of opportunity because that is not an area that one would think of immediately as developable, but because of the state of Reno Sparks at this point in time, you're seeing some real opportunities.
Well, we bought a portfolio of industrial buildings, older industrial buildings, and it's really, the vacancy, I've been here, as I said before, for a long time, and the vacancy in the industrial world usually hovers around 7 to 9%. It's 2% right now. And there are a lot of users out there that would love to own their buildings and just, there's not the ability for them to buy their buildings. We're able to, what I feel, buy a portfolio of older buildings around the airport that I think will be able to be sold in the next few years to users that want to own their own building. And that's a little bit of an arbitrage play for us, but I've never seen the industrial market as tight as it is and the demand as high as it is in Reno. And I love the ability to redevelop a little bit some older buildings and then allow businesses to be able to buy them and own them for the long term.
What about commercial in Reno? It seems like that's still lagging a bit.
You're right.
And I'm not sure why.
We debate this a lot. If you look at industrial multifamily, super tight. Retail's even come back with a vengeance, surprisingly. We're in single digits in the vacancy in retail. Office, which we own a lot of, has been slower. And I think, I've said this multiple times on your show, we've created a lot of jobs in the skilled manufacturing distribution space. With the population increase, Sam, I would expect there to be more just traditional businesses wanting to move into Reno. I don't see that many new businesses coming into Reno wanting to lease traditional office space. I have a lot of organic growth in my portfolio, which is great. We're expanding companies that have been tenants and long-term tenants, but I am frustrated that we don't have more white-collar, traditional fire-type businesses occupying our buildings. And I'm still expecting it to happen. I think it has to happen with what we have coming down the pipe. just from a population standpoint, but it's been slower than I would have expected.
And do you think that the increase in office space is going to hurt that with all these new developments that are coming up?
Well, I think we may find ourselves, I talked to Edon a lot about this, we may find ourselves suddenly with no office space. If what I think is going to happen, where we really do need to play catch up on office, then we're going to need to be prepared to be able to build office buildings quicker than is really normal. Again, it hasn't happened yet, and again, you have to have a pre-lease for a building to be able to have it financed by a bank to be able to build it, unless you're going to build it all equity, and most of us developers don't do that.
Right.
So it's a big risk to do that. So yeah, it will be a good problem to have. I hope we as developers, just like kind of the housing boom, if we have this onslaught of professional services moving into Reno, we have to build buildings, that'll be a good thing, but it hasn't happened yet.
At some point you're going to have to write a book over your experiences in the Northern Nevada area over the last 20 years, because boy, have you seen some changes.
We have. We had a 8 to 10 year, a decade of nothing, and those of us that are still here, we are thrilled to be able to practice our trade again in Reno and do it with a creatively, but also more strategically, and be a part of the growth of Northern Nevada. It's going to be a fun next 5 to 10 years.
To say the least, and we'll be right back. A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Hi, my name's Marilyn Miner, and I'm sure you'd agree that Nevada's a very special place to live. I was born here, and my husband and I have raised our family here. I feel it's a privilege to live and work in the Truckee Meadows. I especially enjoy helping my clients reach their real estate goals. Sometimes the smallest details provide the greatest satisfaction. I'd be complimented to talk to you about your next move.
Call Marilyn Miner at Dixon Realty, 742-1280, or log on to marilynminer.com.
St. Ives Florist, for every holiday and every special occasion. For romance. Custom home design. We have the largest selection of fresh flowers in Northern Nevada. And we also offer a large selection of unique gift items. Come see me, Lori Ann, at St. Ives Florist, 700 South Wells Avenue, or call me at 333-9190.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com. You can also download podcasts of the show free of charge from iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you on the next broadcast.